Praise.
Hey, everybody. You have got Melody Chatamoya in Dublin, Ireland,
Hi, everyone.
and myself, Jacqueline Best, here in Canada. And we're going to be sharing, Melody's going to be sharing from the heart about appreciation in part 6 in opening your heart. So I hope you've been doing the exercises as we've been moving along and you're feeling your heart is expanding because now you get to appreciate how far you've come.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. So in part 1, we talked about connecting with your heart and using the connecting with your heart meditation and loving yourself and just being aware of your heart and what's going on in there. Is it tight? Is it relaxed? Are you happy? Are you not? And just dealing with that. And then we went to part 2 where we talked about gratitude and how to be grateful and keeping a gratitude journal and just writing things that you appreciate about your husband, your partner, your boyfriend, whatever, and just continuing to focus on the things you like and you enjoy about what they are doing for you. And then we moved on to forgiveness. And we wanted to talk to you about forgiving yourself mainly,
Right.
and forgiving your partner and forgiving, letting go of things and not carrying the weight of all that inside you. And then we moved on to healing because you need to heal your heart, which is really clearing all that gunk from carrying stuff and just living in your happy, joyful space. And we did the whole Ho'oponopono.
I love you. I forgive you. I'm sorry. I know. I'm sorry. I forgive you. No, please forgive me.
Give me. Thank you.
That might
Okay.
explain a lot of things, Melody. Why things work out. If I was saying, I'm sorry. I forgive you. Instead of please forgive me.
Please forgive me. Thank you. I'm sorry. I love you. Mm-hmm. So you say those statements, together interchangeably for 10 minutes, 1 hour, whatever works for you. It's always great for clearing the bad energies around you. And then we moved to choices, which is number 5, choosing joy. Making a decision to want to be in a joyful space and just continuously choosing joy and gratitude and just, being happy within yourself. And now we are moving to number 6, which is appreciation. I love that. And I'm sure people are wondering, what's the difference between gratitude and appreciation? It's actually different. Gratitude, usually when you're saying you're grateful, you are still in the energy space of something. So I would say, I'm grateful I managed to have a relationship with my husband, but I'm in the energy of losing him. You get what I'm saying? So you are grateful, yes. But usually when we are saying I'm grateful, we're also looking at the other side, that energy of that other side. We're keeping it in our vibration. And right. Appreciation is just saying, I'm happy I'm alive.
Exactly.
I'm happy I get to talk to Jacqueline right now. I appreciate that. I appreciate the time she's giving me. And I'm appreciating the time I have to be doing this something that I really love and sharing with you guys and just being in my happy, joyful space. And appreciation embodies acceptance. It comes from a place of love. So you're getting back into your heart, you're getting into your loving space, and you're just saying, I appreciate my life. I appreciate this cup of coffee. I appreciate, even when things are going bad, look for something you appreciate in that context.
No such thing as it going bad. It's just a little detour.
Yeah, it's contrast. It's meant to refocus your thoughts and your energy. So appreciate that. Oh, thank you for making me notice that I wasn't focused on what I want. I'm focused on something else. So here's me going back on my path, which is my path to joy.
Well, it's true. Like when you can learn to just, as they say, roll with the roll. I'm not even going to say that phrase, but you go with the flow is what
Yes, yeah.
it's
Going
just
with the
we're
flow.
having technological difficulties here. It's like
Yeah, sure.
it means nothing because
Yeah.
it means nothing. It just so do something different. So here we are now recording.
Mm, mm. Recording instead of doing it live. But we still enjoy this the time and the energy and the love we are trying to share with or we are sharing with everybody.
We are sharing it.
Yes, yeah. So I want to talk about appreciation from another angle.
Okay.
I I got married to a man who was amazingly wonderful, but I took the energy from society of always looking at the negative
Mm-hmm.
of a person. And I started, finding those little things and complaining about them to my friends because that's what everyone else was doing.
Right.
And then one day I kind of thought things will also, because what you focus on expands,
Yeah.
flows over. I started, you know, real noticing how irritating he was and how frustrating he was and all that. Then one day I just said, what if I looked at this from another point of view? This is an amazing human being and he's loving, he's caring, he looks after me, he makes an effort with our child. He before we even had a baby, I knew he was going to be a good father because I used to look at him when he was with other small children, how he had so much patience. You'd carry him on his shoulder, carry the babies on his shoulders and play with them, like lie down on the floor and be with them. And
Right.
and I appreciated all that. I already knew he was kind because again I had made sure I would put him in a situation where I could see him being kind.
Right.
And he loved my grandmother. He had all the time in the world for my grandmother. And he loved his mother and he loved his grandparents as well. He had lots of time for them. And he would really listen to them and appreciate them. And that's what I wanted in a man. So I knew how amazing he was. I decided to start focusing on those things. And
Okay. So let me ask you this though, because if
mm,
you knew how amazing he was and how that was, and do you notice when you started to let in the thoughts of other people saying, "Oh, you're not doing that good enough. You're not doing that." Like you started to see him
uh,
that way?
I think you don't notice initially if, well, I started sleepwalking through my life, okay?
Okay.
I'll admit that. And I stopped noticing what I was doing to make things go bad or good.
Mhm.
I stopped taking responsibility for my creations.
Right.
And so when all this was happening, I blamed him. I blamed everybody else except me. I didn't take responsibility at all. So it was only way later when I woke up and I said, hmm, I'm doing this. I don't even know how because I didn't know about the law of attraction or whatever, but I've been so lucky that I tend to want to take responsibility for a lot of things. Some I shouldn't, and I've realized those that I should and those that I shouldn't.
Right.
So I realized what if it wasn't even like I'm doing this, it was more like what if I changed the way I looked at him
Right.
or what I how I spoke about him and only said the positive things. What's going to happen? This is the scientific person in me. I like experiments. I wanted to see what the end result was that. And the end result was pretty amazing. It was awesome. Yeah.
So appreciation is really recognizing how great things are and celebrating it for what it is versus when people, as you said in the beginning, they're going, I'm grateful I have a partner. They're almost wanting to talk themselves into it. I'm
Yeah.
grateful that he comes home at night.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
grateful,
really
really
grateful.
grateful,
Yeah.
right? And
Mm,
you're talking yourself into believing it, and
yes. Yeah.
appreciation is you're like, wow, I have it. This is so awesome. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And so today I actually want to say we are going to start an appreciation challenge. You do this on your own. You can report, put your messages on Facebook, whatever, and tell us how it's going. But I haven't spoken to Jacqueline about this at all. So I'm going to just throw it in there and see what she says. But
I
I want,
appreciate it.
yeah, yay. But I also want to develop and grow my appreciation. And so I'm going to start appreciating 5 things every day.
Okay.
And I will ring Jacqueline every day and tell her. I don't have to talk to her. I can send her a message and say, this is what I'm appreciating today. I'm appreciating this and this and this and this. And yeah, and I have to make them 5. I'm going to work on making them 5 because 2 are okay, 3 are, 5 are challenging, but challenging in a positive manner because that now I'm going to be in my happy place, in my joyful place where I want to stay all the time. And yeah,
Five.
so
Five is
5.
5 is a good number for transformation, right? 5 is about
Yes,
change. So five,
yes,
5, 5.
5, 5.
I appreciate you, Melody, for you
Mm-hmm.
being just you. I appreciate the fact that you're coming up with this appreciation challenge. I
Ooh.
appreciate technology that we are able to connect Ireland and Canada and the rest of the world. I appreciate that we are both so joyful and we're just being joyful and emanating that in the world. And I appreciate my 5th one is I appreciate life and the fact that I have a body to enjoy it and thrive in this beautiful world with you, co-creating, opening your heart.
Yes, wow. Woohoo. That's great. That's wonderful.
What are your 5?
My 5 are I appreciate this time I'm spending with you because it's so precious and I'm really, appreciative of it. I appreciate that I have taken this path and it's making me or allowing me to do this, to speak about something I feel very strongly about, I am passionate about, and I just love talking about relationships every day. So I appreciate that. I appreciate technology because it's giving me a bigger platform. It's giving me a permission to talk to people I otherwise wouldn't meet, like you and everybody else who's listening.
Mhm.
I appreciate uh, the universe for the love that we get to share and experience while we are taking this journey. I also want to appreciate my marriage for everything that it taught me, all the transformation and the growth that it gave me to
Yeah.
get me to this point. So
That's,
those are my 5.
so I'll add a 6 in there. I appreciate both my ex-husbands because they really showed me that it the the person can be opposite end of the spectrums, but I'm still the middle one.
Oh, I love that.
And so I had some growth to do before I could really open my heart. Okay, so,
Oh, that's
so
good. That's
I I
I'm
I do that opopono
Ho'oponopono.
oponopono. So
Ho'oponopono. Yes.
I'm sorry, you two guys, that you know who you are, and please forgive me for
Hmm.
all that I put you through. And I love you. You were great teachers, and thank you.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, now I love that. You've just made me feel happy. Oh, happy, yeah. In this case. Ooh, yeah. So, people, whoever you are, at whatever stage you're going to listen to this, just start doing this appreciation challenge and see how it transforms your life because I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see my further transformation because there are many levels up there that I haven't reached yet and I want to get there.
So I'm going to encourage you to change that wording. That this is my big thing about wording is I can't wait right?
Mm-hmm.
So that you have that energy of the word wait too. I'm looking forward to my transformation.
Yes, I'm looking forward to my higher transformation and, and yeah, enjoyment and getting to the higher levels of evolution, as they say.
It's constantly expanding. It's like your heart opens, right? And I know when I went from one relationship to the another, just like you feel like your heart's opened and you go, oh yes, I've grown, I've dealt with
Yeah,
it, I've healed.
yeah,
And
yeah.
in one level you have, but it's like another element comes up, and the more vulnerable I have become, right,
Mm,
in allowing myself to be small in the scope of the universe,
mm,
and then I can trust the universe, right? I can trust
yes.
God. I can trust
Mm,
what comes through me to be true. And it's giving me permission to open my heart instead of having to be listening for what that other person's saying, or
yes.
even
Yeah.
doubting myself, right? I just
Mm.
trust this connection, and then I'm able to keep my heart open.
Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah, yeah.
You're
Totally get that.
beautiful. You're beautiful. I'm just appreciating you.
We're very hyper today, aren't we? Oh, yeah.
It's a good,
Anyway, it's all joy.
yes. So besides writing 5 things, is
Hmm.
there, we did it for each other, but let's just go with, you've got a partner.
Hmm.
So are you supposed to go like, I appreciate your 6-pack abs, and I appreciate that you have a job, is it supposed to be really sort of, does it matter? I guess what I'm saying, does it matter if it's sort of physically manifested in appearances?
Okay, I hear you. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
And actually, uh, men are not usually appreciated for their bodies. Now things have kind of shifted. We are kind of, I'm going to use objectifying, not in a bad way,
Right.
but we're looking at their whole six-pack thing, and we react to it. That's a very masculine energy we are tapping, our masculine energy we're tapping into.
Okay.
It's not a feminine energy. We usually, when you're in a feminine energy, it's not the physique that attracts you per se. It's the whole energy and how he talks to you and how he relates to you, how he connects with you. That's what turns you on.
Okay.
Okay. So when we look at if the physique, if you tell a guy that I appreciate your abs or your legs or your hands, I have a thing for men's arms. Okay. That's weird. But their arms are so strong. They all look really puffed up, muscular, and I have a thing for that. I love it. I love looking at their arms thinking, oh, there's so many things they can do with those hands. But it's all good. It's all good.
Of course it's all good. Those hands. Wow. What?
Those hands, yeah. And if you tell your husband that, or your boyfriend, that you appreciate their package or you appreciate their body, you'll be amazed at how touched they're going to be, because they are not told that many times. They will tell us we are beautiful. They tell us they love our boobs, our legs, whatever, but they are not really told themselves how much their bodies mean something, and their bodies do mean something. They look great. They are God's creation, so they do look great. So if you feel, I wanted to say, you said supposed, when you were asking me the question. You are not supposed to do it, but it should give you joy to do it.
Okay.
It should be like a present you're giving your partner. Even when you're appreciating them, don't do it as a way to get something from them.
Ah. So
Yeah, just do it
so not
as a gift.
so you don't compliment him on his hands right when you're getting intimate and you go, oh, you've got such great hands.
Yeah, because he's never going to hear that. But if you just say it and say, I really, out of the blue, I really appreciate your hands. They're so strong. You do this and you do that with them, or the way you touch me, or the way you hold things.
Right.
The reason why I appreciate men's arms, they lift what I consider to be very heavy things, and it seems so easy for them. And I don't know where they get their strength, but I really appreciate it. That's why I don't make it my responsibility to carry heavy things when men are there,
Right.
because I know they can do it so much better than I can. There are other things I do way better than they do, and I do that.
Do you know what, Melody? When we're gonna talk next time about living from the heart, but
Mm.
I can see another whole series here, because men are from Mars, women are from Venus, men are from Mars. That book.
Nice, yeah, yeah.
So when I first read that book,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get it at all, because everything that they said was related to a woman,
Mm-hmm.
nothing to do with me. I was so filled with masculine energy
Yeah.
that I was from Mars, right?
Yeah.
I was from Mars. I was action, make it happen. I wasn't really. And so when they would say, I go, what kind of crap is this? Like, that's
Yes, yeah.
not how I see it
Mm.
at all. And so in a sense, I would never let the masculine be masculine. And then
Mm-hmm.
the same token, I wasn't wanting it to be feminine either, because then I'm like, what kind of drip are you? Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I think there's probably a lot of women out there that have been so conditioned to be feminist
Yes.
and prove themselves in a man's world that they have forgotten that they really have this huge amount of masculine energy that is working, that they have to tone down and up their feminine energy to really open their heart.
Yes, and I think some of it as well could be fear of being weak, because being feminine has always been looked upon as being weak,
Yeah.
because men were comparing us with them and thinking, okay, she's the weaker me.
Mhm.
And we do that as well. We look at men and we think they are the female with hairy faces and funny bodies.
Right.
But we are not the same at all. And this has been proven scientifically. We are so wired differently that we are like that from Mars and Venus. We don't even speak the same language. Even when we are speaking English, we are not saying the same thing. They don't mean the same things to us. So in that context, yes, there's a lot to learn. Yes, women have taken on the masculine energy and used it, because that's what was working in the world, and it still works in the world now.
Mhm.
The only problem comes when you feel depleted and unfulfilled in your life,
Mhm.
or when you want to have a relationship with a man and you're being masculine. I mean, it's like he's dating another man. That's not what he wants. Or he's married to another man. He doesn't want that. He wants the softer you. And the funny part is, when they see you kicking ass out there in the world, achieving, doing great things, they love that.
Mhm.
But they don't want that when they are with you.
Right.
Yeah.
And I even probably had a little bit of that masculine energy, in the sense where women would say, like, I'm just not there to have sex, because it would be like, hey,
I'm here, so let's
I'm
go.
here, I'm ready, let's go. No, so yeah, I can see
Yeah.
the old me was really I mean yeah, don't even recognize her, but I'm sure glad we're having this conversation, because as you're saying these things, I hope some of my little tidbits are helping people realize that maybe you've got some of that crap too going on.
I think most of us have them because of the way the world is. We've really, and even I had to get to a point where I had to say, okay, there's a difference between being at work and being at home. I have to change. When I get home, I don't need to be so task oriented and so goal oriented and so achieving in
Right.
everything I'm doing. But it had to be so precise, because I had so many things to do. I had so many responsibilities. And he didn't understand, because how could he understand? He doesn't understand anything anyway. And But when I started letting go of all that responsibility
Right.
and allowed ease to
Mhm.
come into my life, and it's ease, it's it's taking a breath, allowing him to be a partner, to be a friend, to be a confidant, to be a person I could be weak with. My soft place to fall, as Dr. Phil calls it.
Yeah.
When I started allowing that, my life improved 100-fold.
Yeah.
And it was so instant. That was because men don't keep, um, record of all our wrongdoings like we do of them. They forget things very quickly because naturally that's who they are. So
Mhm.
when I flipped and started changing, it didn't even take him 2 days to start thinking, oh, she's changed now. Now I can be the man. And
Right.
he was the man. And the funny thing, I have to say this, I hope my brother watches this actually, because one of the things that I admired about my dad
Mhm.
was the fact that when he was traveling with me, he was the protector. He ran around. If I needed anything, if I needed water, he would go around to go and get it. If I needed anything, he would be running around. And when my dad is late now, he died in 2000, and we were going home in 2003 for his memorial, actually.
Right.
And my brother came to meet us at the airport, and he had organized the car, and he was running around making sure we had fuel. And, he was, and I said, oh my God, he's now a man.
Ah,
And I didn't need to, because usually I'm the responsible one. I'm the one running around.
right.
I'm the oldest child, so I've always been the one running around.
Right.
But when I saw him doing that, I took a sigh of relief, and I said, oh, I don't need to do that now. Dad, even though he's late, he left somebody in his place to do all these things. So
Mhm.
I sat back and I enjoyed all the attention and
Yeah.
the benefits of his running around. And he
Yeah.
would bring things. I said, where did you get that? Oh, you don't need to know that.
So you really appreciated him.
Yes, yeah, and I really appreciate my brothers because they both do that in their own way. The last one, I remember when he was small. There's 14 years between us, so he was very small. I was home from school. I got home and he was being a typical man. I think he was 7, maybe 8. He said, "I love mangoes." We had a lot of mangoes around our house, and he said, "Would you like me to get you mangoes?" And I said, "Oh yeah, I would love that." So he got up the tree, got me the biggest, juiciest, yellowest mangoes, and he put them in a bowl, washed them for me, and brought them over and said, here you are.
Ah,
I don't even think he remembers this, but it was like, oh my God, he knows exactly what I love and he's giving it to me. Isn't that amazing?
yeah. And
Yeah,
I know what a mango tastes like in Africa. Okay.
yeah,
I
yeah.
I will always recount that story of the first time I tasted a mango. I was in Lamu,
Mm,
and it's heaven. There is
yeah.
nothing like that in North America. You cannot take a mango from anywhere else in the world and think that it's mango.
It's not the same. It's
It is
not,
not
it's
the
not even
same.
close.
I
Yeah,
totally
yeah.
appreciate the mangoes and being there and having that experience. So I know for him to wash them and bring them to you, it was like a bowl of heaven.
Yes. And to think, because I wasn't doing anything, I could have said, oh, let's do it together.
Right.
No, subconsciously, maybe I knew I had to let him do it for me.
Mhm.
But from then on, he has the confidence to want to do things for me. And I appreciate them. And I'm so grateful that when I ask, will you do this for me? They can't hold it. They just run and they do it. It's the asking, please do this for me or help me or whatever. And they do amazing and they do more than you expect.
Yeah.
So in appreciation, you're also really opening a path to asking for help.
Mhm.
Because then when you say, will you please do this for me? He is so filled with all those happy hormones of you appreciating him. He
Right.
will never say no.
Right.
Yeah. I'm saying this from an open, loving space
Mhm.
because this knowledge can be manipulated by some people. And I'm just saying, I'm teaching love and open heartedness and gratitude and appreciation. Let's do this from a place of love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know for myself as I started to let go, in the last relationship and was guided to give up things and stop asking, it was, what, how is that going to work if I'm not doing it all?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in terms of that, I started to heal myself. It still was a relationship that was geared towards healing, right? It wasn't, and I'm very blessed for that. But I've noticed is I have a very good friend and he has helped me in the sense of me seeing all the other little things that I've done in terms of appreciating, like really going, yes, this is what I want. Like, how do I feel when I'm appreciating, and what am I able to say? So I was in that healing part of being apart from others, but recognizing there was another person involved. I could see how in my mind how I could create scenarios just in a friendship. And I always said he's such a treasure because he's really taught me by being there to help me, like, how much he valued being helped. And so I saw that I was to ask him for help, right?
Yes.
The more I asked him for help, the more he was there for myself and my daughters, right? But I go, oh, I never would have done that before because, of course, I was so confident and capable.
I just had a thought there, and this is like a big goal. When you think about our relationship with God, it's about surrender and letting God take charge.
Yeah.
I think in putting us together and having to do this, it's the same thing. We can so do whatever men can do. We are able to do it. But when we consciously surrender our need for control, and just let them do what they need to do to feel good about themselves, we're actually learning to surrender to God. We are learning to allow God to take charge. I'm not saying men are our gods, okay? I'm just saying when you learn to let go of that and just say, okay, I'm willing to allow other help to come for me and help me. This is your guides, your angels, God, the universe, whatever you call it. It makes your life so much better and so much easier and so full of joy and fun.
Yeah.
And that's what I want.
Joy. And I guess on that one, I'll just share when I was busy doing taking control of all the finances, right? And I got the thought. So God gave me the thought to say, quit that job, right? And allow him to do it. And I was like, great, my thought process was like, no. And when you talk about surrendering and trusting, it's God that I was surrendering and trusting to, right?
Yes.
It was, for me, the learning was to let go, not about the partner, right? It was for me to let go. So as I let go and I trusted, wouldn't you know, within, I don't know, it was like, I don't know if it was in 3 days, a couple weeks. It was so fast. I think it was a couple weeks and 3 days. One of my friends told me about this international hosting students. So then I had students come, which was great, to stay in the house. And I got paid to do that and then be with the kids at the same time, right? So I really got to play that mother female role and still have the money come.
Yes. And that's wonderful. Because it's the financial independence that we all want, because it gives us freedom and the sense of purpose and everything that is self-affirming in us. But as well, we can still surrender. We can still allow the help and the love and the care to come from the other person without insisting on giving into ourselves.
Right. And when we realize, I think that whole thing for me would be surrendering. When you surrender to God, you get to really see the other person for who they really are, right? And honor and appreciate them for who they are. And you can appreciate someone, even in my case, I can appreciate for who he was and just realize that we're going in different directions, right?
Yes. Yeah. Okay, it doesn't have to be acrimonious. You can, I believe you can get to a point where you say, I don't love this person anymore, or we are not working as well as I want to work with this person anymore, and happily let them go. Find whatever it is they need in their life, and you find whatever you need. Right. The problem is that control that we want. We want to own people. We want to own our children. We want to own our husbands. We want to own everybody. And those people have to save us. We don't need to save them. They need to save us. What we need, what we want, what we demand. But it doesn't give us happiness or joy or freedom. It just ties us up in knots. And then your expectations give you grief and unhappiness. Right. Instead of just saying, okay, at this point, like I'm going to say this, I appreciate the way you were able to take your girls to the airport and say goodbye and say, this is your adventure now, right, and go and live your lives without sobbing for 6 weeks and telling the whole world your life is over, as if God put you on this earth for that just one role and nothing else. Because I don't believe that. We all have different roles, and sometimes a role comes to an end. You say, thank you, I appreciate everything I got from this role, but now they have to do their thing. Let them fly. That's a real mother. That's a mother who loves their kids, because nobody's meant to be stuck to their mothers for the rest of their life. No matter how much they love us, they still have to let us go. And I really appreciate that you were able to do that. But it also shows the strength that you have and the faith that you have in a higher power, that they're going to be protected. They're going to be happy. They're going to find whatever they need as they travel.
Right.
Because if you could never let your kids go outside if you didn't have faith.
No.
You have to allow faith to allow you to let your kids go anywhere. Because anything can happen. But we can't live in fear. We can't let fear take charge for our lives. We need to live in love. And fear and love don't live together, unfortunately.
Nope.
Or fortunately. So we need to live in love, and we have to allow love to take charge and carry us to joy.
And we appreciate that love and joy are in the universe naturally when we align ourselves with whatever names you want to give it.
Yes.
And on the other side is that other crap. So really, the process, you can look at your other partner through these eyes and say, look, you're not doing, which is really being over here. Or you can open up with joy and love and appreciate and start your 5 things that you're going to share, as we said, in the Facebook group, or just pick a buddy and call and let them know. But I guarantee you that if you're starting to focus just like 5 appreciation, you'll start to see life opening up, and you'll appreciate more and more each and every day.
Yes, that's very true.
So we're going to be on part 7, living from the heart now, because we've got so much good stuff that have been going on now, and you're going to have to stay tuned. So make sure, if you haven't yet, get the meditation. That's at
heartpassioninstitute.com. Yes.
And go through each video and get caught up, because there's lots of good stuff here, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much. Bye.